Guys, how are you all doing? It is another day and it is great to be here with you guys. I really hope that you guys are doing well. I wanted to touch base. Sorry, it's cold here. I wanted to reach out, like I told you yesterday. We are here every day. I'm here every day because I want you to understand and know how important the well-being of nurses are and why we can't relegate our feelings and how we show up. We can't relegate it to the background because nursing burnout will become more than something we just talk about. It's something that's already being experienced, and we have to be able to address it. And in order to do that, we're going to do it head on. So, today, I just want to talk about why nurses feel guilty for resting, and then how that guilt fuels burnout itself. So, if you've ever sat down to rest and immediately felt guilty for doing so, this video is for you. Um, Many nurses struggle. Hmm, how do I say this? Many nurses don't often struggle with taking rest or resting, but we do struggle with allowing ourselves to enjoy it. So even on your days off, your mind stays busy. You're thinking about your patients, you're thinking about your coworkers, you're thinking about everything you should be doing instead of resting. And the guilt that you feel, it isn't accidental. It's actually learned. Uh, Nursing culture itself as a whole, it just quietly teaches us that when we're tired, being tired means that we're dedicated. That when we say yes, we're a team player. That if and when we decide to rest, that means that someone else has to carry the load. And I'm not sure if you're one of those nurses, but I know I was, where just not even showing up because you were truly sick, how bad I used to feel about calling out. And I wasn't calling out just because I didn't want to be at work or just because I wanted to enjoy a day off, but it would bother me and I'd feel so guilty because I felt like I was leaving my team short, that they would now have to divide my patient load among the other nurses. And I knew how difficult that could be, especially since we were in the ICU. So many of us end up being praised and recognized in our careers for pushing through exhaustion. And we learn that our worth was tied to how much we could endure. And that idea that someone else has it worse and that particular guilt, it always becomes automatic. But guilt itself was never meant to be the benchmark or the guide for how well we treat ourselves. It was never meant to be that. So the problem with resting, but resting when it's being driven by guilt, is that you never really truly rest and you never truly recover. So you might sleep, but you don't feel well rested and restored. Even if you take time off, you don't feel lighter by taking that time off because that guilt that you feel always keeps your nervous system activated. Always. So you may be resting physically, but mentally, you're still working. And over time, it ends up creating chronic fatigue. It ends up creating emotional numbness. It it ends up creating resentment, which is really big, really big. And that resentment then you end up taking out on others because of the decisions we've made, because of the guilt we feel other people end up suffering and paying the price for it. So, this burnout doesn't come from doing too much, it comes from never truly stopping. You're always going, even when you shouldn't be going. And that was big for me. You're always going. So, rest isn't something that you should feel that you've earned after suffering enough. And that's what it is. You ever know some people like they're literally on their last leg before they rest? Ankles swollen, back hurting, head hurting, can't lift or do another thing before they finally say, okay, I've got to tap out. I've got to rest now. Why are we bringing ourselves to that place before we finally decide, nope, it's time to rest? And I've got to do better. And I've got to do better for me. So understand, rest is a part of being human. And in nursing, rest is a responsibility. It's not a luxury. What we do is way too important. What we do is critical when it comes to the health of our patients. Our duties and our responsibilities and our being present and our being there. We owe so much of our patients' healing to us when we show up. And when we're showing up, are we showing up rested? 9 times out of 10, no. No. What does that end up looking like for our patients? And outside of that, what does that look like to us in our bodies ourselves? So we have to really understand and know that when we rest, we are safer in what we do. Our interactions are safer. Our critical thinking, the decisions we make are safer when they come from a place of rest. We can't discount what rest means for our bodies and what rest means for those who we take care of. It's not just about their rest. It's what we have to be able to do for ourselves. And we don't have to justify a need for, we don't have to justify needing to rest. We don't. We shouldn't have, we don't owe anyone any explanations behind it. We don't need permission to rest. This is something that we have to do for ourselves. No one else is going to do this for us. We can't advocate for our patients more than we are willing to advocate for ourselves. So understand that releasing this guilt, it doesn't make us selfish. It really makes us sustainable. We are not sustainable if we are not able to rest. We're just not. So, with this, I really want to hear from you. In the comments, I want you to answer honestly for me. And remember, this is and always will be a judgment-free zone. We don't judge here. We empower and we uplift here. We get beat up enough outside of this. Sometimes it is even on the floors where we work. We get beat up enough by the systems and the powers that be, and sometimes by the very people who we take care of. And guess what? Outside of our facilities, outside of the hospital, outside of our shifts, guess what? Life keeps on lifing. It's very easy to say, leave your problems and leave the issues that take place outside of work, leave that at the front door. Very easy to say, not easy to do. It isn't realistic. So, in order for us to truly thrive as nurses in this amazing career that we have to establish these boundaries. Have to. There's no if, ands, or buts about it because we owe that to ourselves. No one else is going to do it for us. No one else. And I don't want you to beat up on yourself either for not having done this before. Again, you've got to show yourself grace. We're very quick to be gracious and show grace to others, and we don't show that same grace to ourselves. And it's not just a matter of mercy. Grace is showing it even if you feel you don't deserve it, even though you do. Grace is showing that to yourself and showing it to others when you, even if you don't feel you deserve it. So I need for you to advocate for yourself in this, even when it comes to what your own mind is going to tell you. Your own mind is going to tell you, you know what, you could wait to rest. You know, there are these other things that really have to be done. You know, you've got so and so depending on you to do this, and so depending on you to do that. And trust me, I was that person. There was never a no in my mouth. Until one year, my sister was like, you know what? I need you to give yourself the gift of no. No. Let no be an automatic. And then if you want to circle the block and come back to it after you've thought about it and say, you know, after you had a chance to reflect on it, say, well, you know what? Maybe I can do that. But the automatic yes, not when it comes between us and our health. And not when guilt then becomes that barrier between us taking care of ourselves and giving ourselves what we know we deserve. So, again, I really want to hear from you. And in the comments, I want you to really answer honestly. If this resonated with you, I want you to like and subscribe. But think about what makes resting hardest for you right now. Is it family? Is it other obligations? What is it that's going on in you that makes resting hardest for you right now? Again, please like, subscribe. In the next video, we're going to just talk about boundaries nurses struggle to set and how we often pay for not having these boundaries in place. So I'm looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow, where we will do it again. So until then, friends, please be well, show yourself the grace you deserve, and continue to be the amazing nurse I know you are. Okay, guys, until next time, take care.